got a friend, really good friend called Mark, who's he's a technician now, and he preps new cars, multi-brand for a franchise dealership. But he is a top tier valeter detailer.
Okay.
And he will spend an hour cleaning one window on his car. Like, this guy is a lunatic.
Yeah, but
he travels all around. He's got, his brother works in quite a big private school in the UK, and has a lot of high-end connections through that. And he goes and cleans car collections as a hobby at the weekends, like ridiculous. And the sort of stuff, like when you see these adverts on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, where there's people polishing cars and this is the way this works really well, and it beats. I mean, it really does. Like when you put the right stuff on and do it the right way.
Joey Woo-Woo's a convert to that stuff. So.
Yeah, DJ used to use it on his bike visor. Obviously, you try not to take your bike out in the UK in the rain, but you never know.
That could happen at any
like
time,
in the UK, it can rain at any point, so you've got to be prepared for it raining, and you've got no wiper blades on a motorbike helmet, and you can't be taking a hand off the handlebars to wipe it when you're in the rain on a bike. So it was quite important, and he's used it on his glasses as well. It's obviously steaming up when you put your helmet back on. So when you put it on right, it works really well. And there's a lot of you see these homemade remedies. Some people use candle wax.
I've seen
candle wax and buff it off. And these sort of things. They'll last. The bigger problem in the UK is that, and be the same in Canada, I guess, is the road, especially if it's been in the cold season, is covered in salt.
Right.
So the spray off of cars' tires and truck tires just covers the window, not in just water. So then the salt and the grit and the dirt, as you're wiping it, it's just abrasive to whatever you've put on there to protect it, so it won't last forever. But what it is good for is wing mirrors and passenger side windows, because then at least you can see your mirrors. Not much you can do about your screen on the front or the back, because it's getting covered in road debris basically. But the side mirrors and the windows on the side are real good use for that.
Check your windshield wiper blades though. At the end of the day, make sure you've got working blades. And I think for here, especially as we move into the cooler months, it will rain. It's going to rain. So make sure you got good blades, because for those moments when it does rain, you're going to want to make sure you're not in the shoulder. And
listen, if it was me, I'd always be on the opinion of buy a set and put them on, and buy a set and keep them in the car. Because the problem with them is you can't have a car without them on. But also at the same time, when they're sat on the windscreen that's 65, 70 degrees for a lot of the year, they just get damaged. Done. So the day that it rains, you just pull the part on the screen. So you've got a set that are in the back ready to put on, because they're not going to get damaged in a box in the car.
And they're not that expensive. I mean, that's a nice. Took the yellow Jeep in to get the RTA certification. Passed. I always hold my breath when it goes in. I did take out the side windows. I had them in because the wife decided she was going to come with me, so I put the side windows in, and then as she got out, I took them out because
a little bit cloudy.
They're a little bit cloudy, and I thought, given your story about the upholstery getting someone failed with RTA, I thought if I keep those in, the guy's going to look at these windows and go, "Oh, they're a little cloudy."
What about that?
So I took them out, but I mean, he watched me take them out.
Hey, they can only test the car that's presented to them.
Well, that's it. He watched me take it out.
Yeah.
It's, I always laugh, though, on the other Jeep that has always passed as well. They put the thing up on the hoist. They walk under it. There's bungee cords and rope holding on my fuel fume filter, the charcoal filter in the back. It kind of fell off. It fell off once I was driving and I heard it because the clip, I don't know, somehow the clip wasn't holding it. So bungee cord and rope are holding it on. Never a problem with that. But someone's interior's got a scratch.
The clip that fell off of it was plastic and was going to break. Bungee cord's going to last a lot longer, as it's been proven. Look, we've had cars fail for upholstery being damaged on seats.
It's crazy.
Don't get it.
I had the clear coat come off once, a bit of clear coat coming off, and they failed me for that. Yet I see cars all the time with clear coat off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how any of them get through. I see some pretty despicable looking vehicles on the road. Can't figure out how any of them are getting past. but they are somehow.
Yeah.
So I do not know. It's weird.
It almost happened in the hours immediately following the test.
Yeah. What's going on in the shop? I was walking through. I saw a van with the whole front end off, and I thought, oh, it's something really bad going on here. It turns out not really.
Just the nature of doing the job on it. Yeah.
I think I was looking at. I think it's an AC unit or something.
So we got a leaking water pump on that one. And at the same time, we've got the intake manifold off. We're going to do an injector clean and get rid of the carbon out of the inside.
But that's a lot of pieces that had to come off that vehicle.
Yeah.
Like the whole front end's gone.
Thankfully, because it's a VW, it's well made and the parts will go back on okay. But there's always a panic, especially when they get older, that you start to think, this isn't going to go back together properly, and what do we do with that? The parts that are going to fail are probably on and it's as ridiculous as it sounds, the parts that will fail on a job like that are the parts that you can't get.
Yeah.
But it looks more complicated than it is. There's time involved in it, but it's somebody that's able to do a 200-piece jigsaw could probably get to the point of that. Now, the diagnosis before it and the work required after it, two different things, but getting to that from the van, I'd be confident in taking my 9-year-old daughter and showing her, and she'd be able to take it off with help lifting the heavy stuff. She'd be fine.
Yeah, it'd be a fun exercise, actually. I see some brake jobs. I mean, it's that time of year as well.
Yeah. People. One of the biggest problems here is people getting the cars washed. They wash them all the time, and the brakes get any grease that you put on their assembly, they get cleaned off. Especially in the warmer months when the water out the hose is 45 degrees. They clean it on the driveway. Pressure washing all the time. So
there's something to be said for not pressure washing your vehicle all the time.
Definitely.
People think they have to do it. And when you're at the garage and the guy gets underneath there and he's just giving her.
Yeah, I mean, I said to Amy the other day that now the weather's getting better. I think the kids are old enough they can come out on a Saturday morning with me and we'll wash the car and I'll show them how to do it. I used to do it with my dad.
Yeah.
Not that they're going to be car washers as a living. I'm sure they probably won't want to do it after they've done it a few times, but just give them an idea of...
It's kind of fun.
And at least what you do, though, it's a responsibility, You pay for a car, you look after it.
I have a lot of trouble when I even go to the mall and the guy comes up and wants to wash the car, because I grew up at home washing my own car, and we wash our own car. And, of course, in the winter, you might run it through the automatic washer, or you might go to somewhere that's got a pressure hose if you don't have one at home. But for the most part, I wash my own car. And that's just what you do.
It's always a difficult of, should I or should I not pay somebody to wash it? Because that guy's trying to earn a living.
And that's always the problem. That guy's making nothing. This is putting bread on the table.
Yeah.
So, occasionally we do it. Just because,
but it's dusty, right? You can't keep on top of it, especially when you work full time. It's hard to keep on top of it.
Yeah. What else? You got brakes. You got a little bit of water stuff. It's the typical leaks. I also was walking by and I said, "What's up with this?" And I just got a leak.
At the minute, it's a bit of it's a good time of year. Is
this kind of a downtime?
No, it's like we're kind of getting out. Although there's a Land Rover on the way in for overheating, but we're kind of getting out of that catastrophic overheating phase where every time a car overheats you're panicking, thinking it could be the worst. We're kind of getting out of that, but we're getting into a lot of people with tyre problems as temperatures drop, so the natural pressure increase with the temperature increase, that's reversed, so people are coming in with tyre warning lights and they just need the tyres pumping up, or the tyres are a little bit lower than they should be and they've gone over a speed bump a bit too enthusiastically, so that sort of stuff, we're getting that in a little bit more. But it'll start to change quite quickly as people start to put their windows down, open sunroofs, that get their tyres attended to and get told at the petrol station or wherever they've done their tyres that they need brakes and they need this and they need that, or they get tyres changed so they need a wheel alignment and they're told they can't do it because there's bush problems and that sort of thing. So this time of year is when we get that change around now. So it'll be good to have a break from AC work and hopefully we'll have a relatively busy end of the year. It can be quiet, especially with holiday travel.
Yeah, because that's all starting. We've got midterm breaks coming in. We've got end of semesters coming. We're not too far off. it's that time of year is happening. So,
yep.
That becomes the other side where people are kind of looking at there's holidays across the board. So people who are traveling might want to be taking home some gifts for family and things, no matter what religion they are. This becomes,
regardless of celebrating Christmas, a lot of people travel with the school year, right? And the school year, there'll be a big holiday coming up in December.
And then, so suddenly you got your car. You don't want to be putting too much money into it, but you got to put money into it. But you got that's catch-22.
Yeah, and when it's over 4,000 dirhams per person to get to the UK.
Oh man, that's right. You're heading back in the end of the year as well. That's a lot of money to the UK. How's that possible?
Madness. Madness.
Yeah,
crazy.
No, it's
people pay it.
No, people pay it. There's no choice, right?
Yeah, people pay it. So, and especially when you've got kids, what you're going to do? You're not going to dot around Europe trying to get back. I remember Phil, who I worked with when he was here. I remember him telling me when he was in Saudi, he made like a 6-stop flight to get home for about £80. Yeah.
My son did an around the world ticket like that.
Yeah, but
the final leg was a 36-hour. I don't know how many stops he had to do. It was and if anything happens in that leg and you miss something, you're doomed.
Yeah, you're done.
So, and as adults, maybe no. You know what? At this point in my life, no, I'm not interested in doing it.
If you had the time, to arrange it, but then you don't save the money because it's not a direct. Yeah. If you had the time to arrange it, where, we'll have a day in Rome and we'll have a day in Berlin and we'll have a day in Oslo or whatever. Yeah. But you don't get that,
and you just get tired then. And if you got kids, you're doomed.
Yeah,
you're doomed. Yeah. So you know what? It's a price of living here. It's another cost you got to factor in.
It's just part of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was trying to good old Joey Woo Woo got rid of his Buick, the old man Buick, and he's a GM guy, so it was pretty sad. He didn't like the Buick at all, and I think he said it was pretty much a Trax, is whatever.
Yeah,
he didn't like it, and got a Camry. I said, "Oh, you're driving a taxi." He says, "Much better than that other thing." All right, and all it got me thinking about was what would be the ideal car for him, given that he likes to warm up food in his vehicle. And so I asked AI to give him some suggestions. It actually came up with fuel efficiency and things, and I was kind of surprised with the vehicles that it suggested. And one of the criteria was food warming, and basically they are not considering using anything that's going to obstruct the windshield, so they're not thinking of the defrosters as warming area. They're looking at seats, which I thought, well, that's a good idea. Also, you get that seat piping hot. You never get that smell out of your car. Imagine you got a slice of pepperoni pizza on there, and the oil starts to drip through. The best. I mean, the best recommendation here is the Pacifica minivan, because it's got an outlet on it, so you can plug in a food warmer and a vacuum.
Yeah, it's got a clean up your mess after.
There you go. Genius. I said this is the best one.
It's genius.
He's never had one of these. And it's perfect. And they even quoted in it. I love this one. This is what it says. Why is the Pacifica minivan great for Joey Woo Woo? Because it's perfect for the old man drive.
Yeah, old man drive.
The old man drive for Joey Woo Woo, offering a relaxed and quiet experience on the highway. The Pacifica's plush seats and smooth handling are great for long distance travel. And if equipped with plug outlets, Joey can use small portable food warmer or plug in other small appliances.
Genius.
It's like, forget about just warming. He can cook.
What else do you need?
Can you imagine? He's doing about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. He could literally leave work, stop off at the grocery store, put his crock pot in there, pour in, the meatballs, and get, put your get the meatballs together. He's got gloves. Put the meatballs together. Put all that in there. Some tomato sauce, a little broth, some onions, whatever. Put the crock pot on high, or your Ninja. Oh, he could have his Ninja air fryer in there. Boom! By the time he gets home, dinner's ready.
Easy.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It also said a Subaru Outback. Yeah, I'm not a big fan
on that.
I mean, Subarus are pretty popular, especially in Vermont. So that's terrible. The Vermonters are going to say, "Hey, don't stereotype us," but a lot of Subarus there. I'm not a big fan. I just don't find them comfortable.
No, never really.
Toyota Highlander, hybrid. I don't know.
Hybrid.
A Toyota Highlander. I think that's I don't know.
They've just gone for the space, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so.
For the big
I
cabin.
think the Pacifica's got the
Pacifica's
outlet.
the one.
It's
Pacifica's the one.
Got to tell him this. Well, he listens, so we don't have to tell him. He's listening right now.
Your Dyson in there and you sort of.
Can you imagine? A Roku. You've got your electric robot vacuum
Thing is,
cleaner.
imagine if he rents it and then he forgets to take them out. The rental company have to call him and say, "Yeah, sir, we've got your Dyson and your Ninja in here."
Can you imagine? I just wonder all the time about the folks, because I live pretty close on the border with Sharjah.
Yeah.
So I see the evening Sharjah traffic. So if you're listening and you have no idea about the geography of the United Arab Emirates, basically you could drive all 7 Emirates in a day if you just got out and just decided to go for a drive. And between Abu Dhabi to Dubai, the cities, also the Emirates, but the cities are about an hour and a half on a good day if the traffic is good. Then to get to Sharjah, which is right beside Dubai, really on a good day's traffic from my place, it's a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
To get down to the aquarium, which beside the aquarium, for all of you aficionados of seafood, there's an excellent seafood restaurant literally right beside the aquarium. Don't ask too many questions about that. But on the evenings, the challenge is it goes from a 12-lane highway to a 6-lane highway as you go into Sharjah. So the traffic is brutal at night.
Yeah.
And I always wonder about those folks. And those folks, some of them are getting the early leave and they're listening to us now. But that's got to be a big challenge when you're driving and you're literally watching things and hearing things happen with your vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, you always worry about the overheating in that situation.
That's the number one, isn't it?
Or your brakes giving up on you or something like that. But, you know, people that are asking the question of how long will this last or how long will that last when we give them, we always say it depends on how you're driving. And if you're doing driving that's sat in traffic, it's a lot different to doing driving there non-stop.
Yeah.
If you're shuttling around town delivering packages all day, or if you're doing 1 or 2 long drops to Ras Al Khaimah or something like that, it's totally different, even though you're probably doing the driving for the same amount of time and the engine's running for the same amount of time, and you might even do the same sort of mileage. 2 totally different stresses on a vehicle.
Yeah.
Totally different stresses on a vehicle.
That stop and go, that's a lot more stress.
Yeah. So it's all about how you drive and the differences that can have. But look, I think we've cracked it. You need a Chrysler Pacifica minivan.
I think that's it. People just need to get the minivans going. You can have someone in the back cooking dinner.
Yeah.
And away you go. Sorted, relaxed. Yeah. I guess someone could even be doing some yoga if you paste it out.
Possible. You'd probably best stop pulling at the side of the road. Otherwise.
I still think you get the Chrysler minivan, you're cooking up some dinner, and you could basically sell it to people in the proximity around you.
Very possible.
And especially if you roll down the windows
Very
a little
possible.
bit.
I don't know what the DED would say about that. I'm not sure.
I think it's a gray space.
Municipality.
I think it's a gray space. You're just sharing.
Wash your hands and you'll be fine.
They're also now listening to this podcast and they're looking to create their own. They're going to be sending us messages. Can you please let people know they cannot do that?
Yeah, we're in trouble. The next time somebody's doing it and get caught, they're just going to blame us.
Yeah, we heard it. We heard it on the podcast. Glenn said. Good, Glenn.
Thing is, though, at least we know we've got a listener.
Exactly. I want to jump back. We only got a few minutes left here. I do have to go to work. As you, I haven't seen you get so many messages.
Yeah, it's gone a bit wild.
It's gone crazy. So, and I know
somebody asked me. I don't think I'm going to make it. Oh well, we'll see.
We were talking about Pajeros at the start, and they're no longer making Pajeros.
Yes.
How long do you think we're still going to see them around?
Oh, for ages.
Yeah.
Ages.
Yeah.
I mean, you still see Pajeros from the early 2000s, right? 90s.
Yeah. They do live.
Ones. They'll just live on. I mean, the only issue with them now, as opposed to then, is everything's all plastic and they're not as well put together. They're made more to a price now than they were.
Is there anybody who's looking at replicating that? I mean, we see a lot of Chinese vehicles. I haven't seen anyone.
Nobody. I mean, the problem with it, and the reason they have to stop, is it's just such old technology.
The engines. I mean, terrible gas mileage.
You can't sell them anywhere that's got any kind of regulation now. So no, I can't see. And they didn't look great, right? So no one's going to copy the look of them.
Yeah, it had the same look the whole time. Like from the time, 25 years, it never changed.
Barely any changes on them.
A little bit of trim difference.
Yeah. I mean, those signature edition ones now, the body kits that are on them are stuck on with double-sided tape.
I was coming to the podcast studio here, your pop-up podcast studio at the PowerWorks garage, and coming through Nad Al Sheba, and there was a police guy in a Pajero, I guess basically stopping trucks, and even he was slunk down in his seat, didn't want to be seen in the Pajero. So it's.
Imagine that. You go to work one day, someone takes out the SLR and you get put in the Pajero.
Yeah, I think he got to work late. It's like, you drew the low straw, my friend. Yeah. You're the Pajero boy. So,
yeah. Or he got there early and he knew the AC won't let him down.
That's the other side, right?
Yeah. And he'd constantly having to go back and fill it with petrol.
Yeah. Oh, I saw one last thing. I saw the other day a new Ford. What was it? It wasn't an Expedition. What's the other name they've got for one?
They do the Explorer, they do the Everest.
The Everest. It was a Ford Everest. That was it. Thank you for that. Wonderful looking Ford. But for a split second, as it was going around the corner and I was behind it with the profile on the backside, I thought it was an old model Durango.
No, not far off. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And I was trying to think. I said, no, this is a Ford. It's not a Durango. Ford wouldn't. And it was the way the wheels and the wheel wells. So I don't know if a guy changed out and put some new tires on it or something.
Maybe.
But with the wheel wells and a little bit of the backside of it and the way the profile went to the front, I said, that really looks like a Durango. And I like Durangos, so it wasn't a big deal. But I thought, wow, who would have ever thought?
Yeah, we haven't seen many of those in yet, but they're a relatively new model. Yeah. I think they're sort of more of an entry budget level vehicle, but they'll sell. They will sell.
They look nice. Yeah. It's the right size. So.
Yeah.
Glenn, you know what? We're gonna put down the garage door yet again on this podcast, and looking forward to picking it up again soon. Yeah. Glenn Power is at the PowerWorks garage, and he makes the time every week or so for us to sit down and talk about cars, keep you company, keep you informed, keep you entertained, and keep you educated on stuff you need to know. Glenn, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if you're listening on 100.3, a home of news, sport, and conversation, that's a wrap.